Nation.
SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
Welcome back, Spartan Nation. It's now time for the good, the bad, and the ugly with MSU Athletics. We bring in the one and only legendary State of Michigan high school football and basketball prep coach, the great coach, Chuck Grenier. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today, Hondo?
Did you tell your wife last week the credit I gave her on this show?
Oh, she heard all about it. Oh, yeah. I'm here. We had to go out to dinner and celebrate that.
All right, good. Wait a minute. It's Becky. You have to go out and celebrate every day you married so far out of your league.
Yeah, I know that. She's great. She really is.
Coach, last week I did a question and answer article that opened a lot of eyes when a very good reader, Carrie in Milford, Michigan, asked me if maybe part of the reason D'Antonio had a bad season last year was he was emotionally distraught or frustrated. I don't remember the exact word, but if it emotionally paid a toll not having Mark Hollis on campus. And I said for the first time publicly, they were not close. After they won the Rose Bowl and before that next season started, their relationship took a very bad turn and never picked up after that. Did that surprise you?
No, not at all. I know Mark Hollis was an exceptional administrator, and I know that he did great things for Michigan State. And and to this day, I'm sad that he is gone as the administrator of the athletics program at Michigan State because he did such a great job. But as an administrator, you have to step on toes, and when any coach in any sport that is at the top of their game at that time, like a Izzo or like a D'Antonio or a Nick Saban or that, they do have a tendency to run off and do practically anything that they want to do, and they need to be reined in to stay within the guidelines of what the direction of the university is going at that time. And I think Hollis and D'Antonio, maybe Izzo too, had some problems on that because Hollis was such a good administrator.
I can tell you this, that there was never issues between Hollis and Izzo. None.
Okay.
None.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. None. Let's go on. What did you think of one reader in the Q&A talking about, I thought it was fascinating, when talking about D'Antonio not firing any staff, just reassigning, he called it rearranging the seats on the Titanic.
Well, I completely agree with that person. The reshuffling and the reassigning of the coaches, it's like, it's that old saying, the rearranging of the seats on the Titanic, or you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig, that sort of thing. If you've got bad coaching, you've got bad coaching. It doesn't get any better by shifting them from one position to another. If they're not very good, they're not very good, period. And at the level that this college is at Michigan State, where you're playing at one time for a national championship, if those coaches are not performing to the level that they need to, it's just not going to work out. Take a line from, I think, their weight room. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So if you're not getting better, then you reshuffle your coaching staff around. Instead of having bad coaching at the one position, now you have it at the other position. This didn't make any sense at all.
Coach, what did you think of? I mean, Brad Salem got a promotion. He should have gotten a raise. But the fact that Mark Staten and Dave Warner, now I know Mark D'Antonio says, well, with their contracts, it's hard. The fact that more money went into that offensive staff and guys didn't get cuts, is that a slap in the face to fans?
I think it's kind of like our government in a way. keep throwing money at it, and it'll probably get better. But that's not the way things work. It gets better when you get better people in there. I just don't understand. Like a lot of the fans do out there, I just don't understand how if you see that there's a problem, you don't address the problem, you throw money at it, or you just shuffle things around and think it's going to get better. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree 100%. We're talking to the one, the only, the great Coach Chuck Kinnear. Coach, one of the comments that got a lot of people fired up was when I was asked by a guy from Clarkston about two particular Clarkston recruits, guys I've interviewed for a long time, and I said Michigan State is on the outside with both of them. These are two kids, two Michigan kids, that they're on the outside looking in at. And people were a little bit surprised and a little bit shocked when I mentioned that Michigan State's on the outs. One of them is Spindler and one of them is Dillinger, but Michigan State is on the outs with both. Did that concern you?
It does and it doesn't. It doesn't because the ties in the state of Michigan for your allegiance between the two major universities, Michigan State and Michigan, are very strong. And we've seen in the past where recruits have been heavily recruited by the University of Michigan, but go to Michigan State because of their love of Michigan State. And the same goes for recruits going to Michigan. And we might be seeing that with those two young players at that time. They might have been really strong Michigan fans to begin with.
Well, one of them, but remember, that's not the case with these guys.
Well, it could be. I'm not really.
No. I'm telling you. I know for a fact that's not the case with these guys. In fact, with Dillinger, he's probably going to Notre Dame. And Spindler, I think he's leaning towards Michigan, but Notre Dame is still in it. Michigan State's not even a part of it.
Yeah. Well, it could be the reason I first, and the second reason is that maybe the condition of the program at that time, how it's kind of roller coastering over the last 3-4 years, where they have a good season and come down based on wins, is turning players off, and it's being heavily recruited against them by other schools. So there's a number of factors. There's two that I just mentioned right there of how Michigan State is not being looked at all because of those factors.
Interesting times. Another one of the questions that came in the question and answer article was from a donor who I know very well, and if I named them, you know them. They have given to every project since D'Antonio arrived and said, listen, not firing staff concern me, but no pay cuts tells me they don't need my money. Should there be concerns in this football program that maybe people are not? Because listen, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. Remember all the years when I didn't have anything negative to say and people said I was simply being a Kool-Aid seller? That's just not the case anymore, so I've got to tell the truth. Chuck, I'm concerned that there are people either who don't care or are not listening to the fans.
Well, it all breaks down. Everything is based upon the money coming into the program. And so if you have donors that are giving, excessive amount of money, you got to be playing to those people right away. You got to make them as happy as you possibly can. And if you're not doing that, if you're not making them feel that they want to open up their purses, their pocketbooks, to their wallets, to the college, the university, you're making major mistakes on that point. So you have to court them, you have to wine and dine them, and you make sure that money flow is coming in, because college programs and athletics, especially at the level that Michigan State is at, requires great funding. And if you're making those people uneasy, unhappy, you're not doing your job, and you're not going to be getting those dollars coming in to make the improvements necessary. Look at what's going on around the Big Ten at this time, and how each individual program is updating their program because recruits like that. And, new weight rooms, new teaching facilities, new this, new that, projects that are improving the stadiums. You need the money to do all that to attract the best college talent. So, if you're not whining and dining these people, then you're making a major, major mistake.
Totally.
It should be alarming.
I totally agree with you. He is the one and the only, the great Coach Chuck Grenier. Remember, if you have a question that you want answered in my weekly question and answer article with Spartan Football, send me an email, Spartan Nation Mail, MAIL @yahoo.com.